It's like when you start speaking your life into existence and you start to feel really excited about it, and you just keep talking about it, keep talking about it, keep talking about it. It just builds and it builds and it builds until your emotional charge is so high that you're like buzzing. Your excitement, your eagerness, your gratitude, your fulfillment, your heartfulness, like it's like a 10 out of 10, and you're like radiating. You're like, oh, like you're feeling so good. What's up? What's going on? My name is Sabrina and welcome back to the channel. Here in the Better You space, we teach creatives, dreamers, and entrepreneurs how to train their minds to make their daydreams their real daily lives. We're going to be talking about how to rewire your brain at rapid speed so that you can manifest on autopilot. All right, make sure you stay until the end of the video to get everything this video has to offer. If you want to go deeper with this, feel free to check out the one-on-one mentorship or our online signature program, Unleash Your Life, in the description box below. And let's get into it. So we want to rewire our minds to mold our subconscious minds, because it is our subconscious minds that dictate what we manifest into our life. It dictates what we put our awareness on and manifest and create out of the quantum field. So knowing the science behind this, we really want to make sure that we are the master at, I'll just say, regulating our state of consciousness and like being on top of our internal state. And so we can mold the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind can be molded like clay. We can mold the subconscious mind through repetition and through emotion. Okay. And I'm really going to be talking about emotion in this one because of how powerful it is. So I want you to get into this, okay? I want to describe how this works. I want you to think of every thought you have has its own like little neural pathway in your brain. And I want you to think of the neural pathways in your brain as a little trail through the forest. And the more you think of thoughts, the more you walk the trail. And so we have all these different neural pathways, trails in our mind of thoughts that we habitually think, right? The more often you think a thought, the bigger the trail gets, the more ingrained the neural pathway is. Now, I want you to think of a thought that has no emotional charge behind it, right? Say as neutral as if I were to tell you that I ate oatmeal for breakfast, right? You don't feel any type of way about that. Hopefully you don't feel angry about it. You don't feel super excited about it. It's just neutral. You're like, okay, you ate oatmeal for breakfast. Neutral. 0 out of 10 emotional charge. I want you to imagine that a thought that has 0 emotional charge is like walking the trail very lightly. Now let's think about when you have a thought that has a very high emotional charge. This can be whether it's like really excited or like really angry. It doesn't matter what emotion it is. Either way, the emotional charge, let's just rate it out of a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say the emotional charge is anywhere from an 8, 9, or 10. When you have any kind of thought with this emotional charge, the impact that it has on our subconscious minds is, instead of a 100-pound guy just walking along the trail, I want you to imagine that it's like a 10,000-pound elephant walking along the trail, plowing through the trees, completely destroying any grass that was there, right? Anytime a thought has a really high emotional charge, this can work for us or this can work against us. Okay, I'm going to be talking about how it works for us, but I want you to be mindful of this, of how powerful your emotions are. And I'm probably going to be making a lot more videos about this topic specifically because of how many people that I see really need these teachings. But in terms of rewiring your mind at rapid speed, right, we really want to mold the subconscious mind. We really want to change our internal state to be exactly as the internal state of the version of ourselves that is experiencing what we want. So getting really clear on the emotions that the version of yourself experiences when you are living your quote unquote dream life, right? When your business has hit a specific point of success, when you've gotten the clients you've been dreaming of, when you've gotten that modeling gig that you've been wishing and hoping and wanting. Think of the exact emotions. And I want you to feel these emotions at a really, really high rate. And what is really good for this is positive rampaging. I heard this first from Abraham Hicks. I've talked about this in past videos. And it's like when you start speaking your life into existence and you start to feel really excited about it, And you just keep talking about it, keep talking about it, keep talking about it. It just builds and it builds and it builds until your emotional charge is so high that you're like buzzing. Your excitement, your eagerness, your gratitude, your fulfillment, your heartfulness, like it's like a 10 out of 10 and you're like radiating. You're like, oh, like you're feeling so good. This is a state that I want you guys to be in to rewire your brain at a rapid speed. And I want you guys to take this work really seriously, right? If you're serious about changing your life, changing the way that you feel, changing the way that you see yourself, changing the way that you experience life itself, changing what you attract and experience in your reality, the kinds of people and circumstances, right? If you're serious about changing your life in all of these ways, I really want you to take these practices seriously. And make a schedule for yourself of 3 times a day, morning, lunchtime, and evening time, to go on a positive rampage and to allow these emotions to cultivate. Because when you can feel these positive emotions as you're speaking your life into existence, you have these, let's call these thoughts and emotions that you desire to experience, your green elephants that are running through your mind, creating these neural pathways. And let's call the thoughts and emotions that you don't want to experience red elephants running through your mind, creating those neural pathways. So I want you to create as many green elephants in your mind running around, creating these really nice trails all in your mind of these really feel good emotions. When you do this again and again and again and again, you have these thick pathways, these big, like 5 foot wide, trees are cleared, sun is shining type pathways for these really feel good emotions to come through. You will, after consistently doing this work, you will wake up, open your eyes in the morning and like immediately feel the positive emotions surging through your body. Like who doesn't want that? And I think so many of us want that and don't know how to do that. And like, this is the way. This is how we retrain our emotional bodies, retrain our brains, retrain our minds to feel what we want and to also attract and experience and manifest what we want. I want you guys to get really, really serious about doing this work because not only it has that impact on our brains, but also when you think about hormonally, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza says that what does he say? It's something along the lines of like, our minds are the biggest pharmacy. It's like the biggest pharmaceutical center. He says something along those lines. We have the power to completely shift our brain chemistry, our hormonal fluctuations, our dopamine levels, our serotonin levels. Like we have the ability to change that and to influence the way that we feel. We have that ability all in here already. All you have to do is train yourself to cultivate these emotions again and again until the body is used to it, until your body is in a natural cycle of it. Because the way that our emotional circuitry works is we have a thought that talks to the body and tells the body what we're thinking. And then the body creates the hormones to match that. And then the hormones get released into our body. So whether it be an angry thought, a sad thought, a happy thought, a content thought, no matter what it is, the hormones, the brain tells the body what it's thinking. The body releases the hormones. The body then comes back to the brain and tells that it is now feeling how it's thinking. And the cycle goes on. Our cells get coated with these hormones. As our cells get coated with these hormones, our cells get used to the hormones. And this is where it can get really tricky because when our cells are so used to feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling sad, whatever it is, then when you stop feeling that for some time, your cells communicate to your brain, your body communicates to your brain, I'm not feeling how I'm usually feeling. I'm not feeling my baseline. What's wrong? And so then you start going in a little like mental spiral because you're like, my body's telling me something's off. When really it's just you not experiencing that stress and overwhelm for longer than what you're used to. And so when doing this process, I want to really get this point across is that you are most likely in the rewiring process. I don't know of anyone who hasn't struggled with this, but never say never. you are most likely going to start this rewiring work, run those green elephants through your mind, run and run and run and rev it up, rev it up, rev it up. And then at some point, you're going to have a big red elephant come through and it's going to throw you off and you're going to be like, whoa. And then you're going to have more red elephants come through and then more red elephants until you're feeling in a spiral. You're back to where you were or even worse off than where you were before. And it can feel very difficult when you notice a red elephant come through, that strong emotional surge coming through that you don't want to experience, the strong negative thoughts coming through that you don't want to experience. Know that this is okay. Validate yourself. Okay. We're human. It happens, but just notice it. Okay. I want you guys to do your best to notice it and kind of like take a step back instead of having the negative emotion, negative thought and being like, oh my God, I'm experiencing this. Instead of feeling like that, I want you to when the negative thought or negative emotion comes up, the red elephant comes up, I want you to see it, feel it, and pause. Stop what you're doing. You're going to hear me say this a million times in my videos because it's so important. And take some deep breaths to regulate your nervous system. Okay, the red elephants that come through, these hormones of stress or anxiety or sadness, right? The hormones correlated with these emotions are flooding your bloodstream. We need a second to shake that off. We need a second to regulate the nervous system back down. Okay, once we've regulated, then go back to the rewiring process. Fire those green elephants. Make those green elephants running and going and rev it up all over again. You're going to experience another red elephant. And we're going to do the process again. Run more green elephants, even way more green elephants than red elephants, until we've gained so much momentum. One red elephant can come by and we can notice it and be good. And then we've ran so many green elephants. How did this video come all the way to manifesting to talking about elephants? Now we have so many green elephants running and ruling our mind that our mind can't help but to mold and shape into the direct match as the internal state of the version of ourselves that we want to become. And this can happen really, really quickly when we use strong enough emotions, when we let the good emotions cultivate and just fire them up and let them go and let ourselves literally scream of excitement off the top of our lungs and let ourselves feel so giddy and so excited and literally tearing up with gratitude. I want your emotions to be that strong, your positive emotions. I want your positive emotions to be a 10 out of 10 to really combat any red elephants that try to come through. Because if we let our emotions, our red elephants, rule our mind, run our mind, we're not going to be able to match our internal state to manifest what we want. We need to master our thoughts and our emotions. Not to say you can't be human and you can't experience your emotions. Yeah, we're still going to experience emotions on the full spectrum, but it's about being way more mindful of it. It's about being able to manage them at a much higher level than just letting them take you over, right? And so if you are the type of person where you're like, okay, Sabrina, I hear you. This makes sense. But sometimes it really feels like I can't control my emotional state. And to this, I'll say, I hear you, but also I don't want you to ever tell yourself that you cannot control your emotional state. Our minds are confirmation biases. The more we tell ourselves that we cannot do something, the more our minds and bodies say, okay, yes, you're right. So if you're wanting to gain more control of your emotional state, don't entertain those thoughts of I can't control my emotions. Don't entertain them. They're not doing you any good. Start entertaining just the thought, right? If it's difficult for you at first, just start entertaining the thought. What would it feel like to be more in control of my emotions? I wonder what it would feel like to be more in control of my emotions, of my emotional state. I wonder what it would feel like to be able to notice a red elephant come through and being able to pause and rewire. No one is outside of you coming in your mind and controlling your emotions. Nobody is God isn't coming down and doing puppet strings and controlling how you feel. This is your mind. This is your emotional body. This is your internal state, your life, right? I want you to know that you are always in control. You always have the say to what goes in your own mind, in your own body. So let's start running these green elephants all around in our minds. Let's start revving up our emotional state paired with speaking our life into existence. Let's start molding our subconscious mind to match what we want to become, to end the suffering, to end the stress, to really sit in a place of like ease and fulfillment and gratitude and bliss, really. That is our natural state, is feeling really good. That's why our bodies operate so poorly when we're in a stressed out state, because we're not meant to be in that state. Even though I feel like it's safe to say the majority, 95% of at least Americans live almost their entire lives in a state of fight or flight, in that really stressed out state. So become aware of what red elephants you have running through your mind. Become more observant of them so that you can break the neural pathway by stopping, breathing, releasing, and rewiring. And I want you to fire off these green elephants, these really positive 10 out of 10 high frequency emotional states 3 times a day. Do this, and I guarantee in just 3 days, you're going to feel massively different. And you know you're doing work to mold your subconscious mind by your feeling state. This is why so many spiritual teachers back in the day would say feeling is the secret. We now know the science behind this. Feeling really is the secret in molding our subconscious mind, shifting our state of consciousness, changing what we manifest into our lives. So if you made it to this point in this video, I would love for you to leave a brain emoji in the comment section below so I can see who made it to this point. I want to thank you so much for doing this work. When you better yourself, you are making a positive ripple effect and bettering those around you. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified every time I post a new one. Share this video with a friend, and I will see you in the next video.